Hey guys, welcome to the ARCof Wrestling Podcast, episode 49. 48?
48.
48. I'm never going to remember a show,
One
ever.
of those.
47 to 3. Why not?
If you experience any audio problems, we're trying to test out some new settings on my side. So hopefully it doesn't come out too low for you guys. So wrestling, let's talk about it. This week was quite shit, I guess. The only relevant thing that could have happened this week is they announced the Survivor Series match for the Survivor Series pay-per-view that's supposed to happen in 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
The teams consist of Team Punk versus Team Foley. For Team Foley, it's Ryback, Kofi Kingston, Hell No, and someone else.
Randy Orton.
And on Team Punk, it's Del Rio, Punk, Rhodes Scholars, and the Miz. Really, the originality of that team just shocks me. Not really.
It's gonna be Ryback beating all 5 of them.
It's not gonna. I think it's gonna be all eliminated down to like two team members on Team Punk, and Ryback's gonna be last man standing.
It's gonna be Ryback and Orton and Punk and Del Rio.
Yeah, and then Del Rio gets squashed, and Punk probably does something nasty. I don't see Punk getting the pin. I think it's gonna be another nasty ending where maybe Punk gets the win.
Nope, Ryback pins Punk.
You're calling Ryback pins Punk.
Ryback pins Punk.
I don't know. I can't see it. I don't. Well, first of all, let's say the title is not on the line. That's something that should be mentioned because this is going to be the first pay-per-view in years where the WWE title is going to be actually contested on the pay-per-view.
Ryback pins Punk cleanly. It's gonna happen.
You're calling it right here.
It's gonna happen.
You're gonna call it.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Jimmy? What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't been in touch with wrestling since the pay-per-views. So I don't know much anymore.
Why?
Right.
But I don't know. I've been too busy these days.
Too busy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyways, to stay relevant with this conversation.
My excuse isn't because I'm busy. I mean, I work, I have school, and I do a bunch of other shit on the backside. Nothing's interesting me. On the 4-Player Podcast, we were discussing on 4playerpodcast.com/forum.
4-Player Network.
Network.
Well, it still redirects you to
Although
that.
it still redirects you though.
I was discussing, they're saying, how do you get people interested back into the business? And, one thing that they were talking about was, surprise appearances. And rather than hyping it up like a week later, just kind of let it happen and we'll bring more viewers in. I don't know. I think WWE needs to reapproach the 80s again. If anything, they should reapproach the 80s where gimmicks are the heavy build to most of the show.
No.
Where there's over-the-top gimmicks. I think it would work again. I think it would look at a show like Chikara. Heavy gimmick-based show that utilize their gimmicks to more of a storybook.
It's comedy wrestling.
It's comedy wrestling. But I think if they brought back more of the 80s style where there's more gimmicks, not stupid like fucking Brodus Clay. I'm talking about like.
But wait.
More
Brodus Clay is over. Right,
More third dimensional. More third-dimensional characters, I think it would work. I think if look at someone like Justin Gabriel or even someone like Wade Barrett. I mean, what does besides of their excellent ring work and their excellent, Justin Gabriel doesn't have excellent mic skills, but Wade Barrett does. What else do they bring to the table? How are they going to get over with barely any gimmick? You can only go so far with the British gimmick. And Justin Gabriel can only go so far with the South African. Because that's who they are.
South American.
No, South African. Don't fucking try to trick me here.
I know.
Blame JR.
Yeah, blame JR. How can you make such a stupid mistake?
I blame his Bell's palsy.
Oh, shit. fuck it. It's just they need to. I think if they ever need to, because first they need to get the kids back into it. I think I made a theory a long time ago that the reason why they have the PG era is to create a new generation of kids. Create a new generation of superstars you get back into the business. And so
a new generation of kids?
A new generation of, kids who grew up with wrestling. If you continue on with the Attitude Era, you weren't gonna have, the kids who grew up with it anymore, because the parents would be, very against watching wrestling, and a lot of those kids wouldn't have grown up. And I think the PG era, that's where it's aiming at. It's to bring kids back into the business so they grow up with wrestling, and we're gonna have this full cycle to where we go back into a new form of Attitude Era, and we're gonna continue on. We're gonna have this constant cycle of edgy wrestling to PG wrestling, edgy wrestling to PG wrestling.
I don't see it happening.
You don't see it happening. Why?
Nope. Because I don't.
Any reason why?
If Linda McMahon wins the Senate, and they got sponsors aren't going to go away.
But But how did WWE strive so much? They're getting so many ratings when they're in the Attitude Era, and they had sponsors off the wall in the Attitude Era. I think it's more political. I think it's more politically driven. The reason why it's PG rather than sponsors. I think WWE, with the money it has, and with the draw base it has, I think sponsors are the least of their worries. I think they can find sponsors in anything. I mean.
The sponsors bring in revenue.
But the sponsors, you have to think about, who they want sponsors for. Right now, they're going more for, the family-friendly sponsors. But I bet it's easy enough for them to find more of an adult-driven sponsor base. Beer companies, even the cigarette companies, they'll all, be wanting to clamor for that sponsor spot for WWE if they ever decided to go more of an edgier wrestling style.
Yes, let's teach our kids to start smoking.
No, but that's the thing.
Smoking.
We're not. The edgier wrestling is more for young adults to more adult-based audience. If the kids watch, it's the parents' fault.
No, it's the kids' fault.
It's the parent. Well, it's both their faults. But you understand where I'm coming from, this, right?
Yeah, I can see it now. Elimination Chamber, brought to you by Marlboro.
Yeah.
Smoke up.
It's not like it's the first time that
Breaking Point, presented by Trojan Condoms.
Wait, why would it be TNA? Why are you talking about TNA, Jonesy? You want to talk about TNA?
No, he said Breaking Point, brought to you by Trojan Condoms.
Exactly. Breaking Point is a TNA pay-per-view, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Wait, no, it's not.
It's Turning Point.
That's Turning Point, yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch. There are too many fucking... There's another thing that's wrong with it. These weird fucking pay-per-views. Stay with the originals. Let those build their own history. Don't start changing them.
Breaking Point was the pay-per-view where they had submission matches.
They did?
Yeah. It was the pay-per-view that was based around submissions.
When was the last Breaking... I can't remember.
2009.
Huh.
There was only one. And it sucked.
It did?
Yeah.
It
sucked hardcore. I forget. That's how bad it was.
All right.
The only way I remember... Yeah, never mind.
No, what?
I was gonna say the only reason I remember Breaking Point is because I watched a way out thing on Netflix, and one of the matches was DX and Legacy.
Oh, for the submissions count anywhere match?
Oh, yeah. That was Breaking Point? Totally forgot about that. Okay.
That's the only reason I remember Breaking Point.
So Survivor Series. With all the feuds in the Survivor Series match, how are they going to fill up the rest of the pay-per-view?
Divas.
Fuck you. Well, of course, they're going to have one Divas match. They're going to have probably, like, Eve versus Caitlyn.
Nope, they're going to have, like, 9 of them.
They don't even have 9 Divas.
Well, it's a tournament.
They have, like, 4. They have AJ, Eve, Caitlyn, Layla.
It's a tournament.
Ixana.
I forgot to tell you that.
Can you really count Oksana?
I counter for sole reason there's really no one else to count.
It's gonna be
and
Casey
they
She can't wrestle.
it's not
it's
their
gonna be-
fault. I mean, it is their fault because they have so many talented divas on NXT right now. They have Paige, who's a British indie wrestler. They have some girl named Emma. I forget her real name. I mean, her ring name. It's like Tanae, something like that. She was trained by Lance Storm.
Is she Mike Tenay's brother, sister?
No, it's not Tanae. It's like Tenali, some shit like that. She was
Oh.
trained by Lance Storm, which is impressive enough. They
I
used
thought
to
you were
have
gonna say James Storm.
what? No,
I thought you were gonna say James Storm.
oh, no, fuck
James
that.
Storm doesn't know how to wrestle. How can he train somebody?
Hey, James Storm is decent. If I had my own wrestling business, I would hire James Storm. I think he could get over with the crowd.
Had to sneeze. I'm sorry. That's why I muted my mic.
What are some other things? They hired some Russian boxer or like kickboxing chick. That really isn't interesting. God, they just announced a whole bunch of new people.
They
to
should
the
go out and get
NXT
Gina
roster,
Carano.
so- What?
They should go out and get Gina Carano.
Gina Carano. Who's that?
She's an MMA fighter,
MMA fighter? She decent?
and she's hot.
She's hot.
She's hot.
All right.
That's all you
Oh,
need-
they
that's
also
all
have
you need to
Audrey
know.
Marie. She's also really talented. I mean, she's not like super talented, but she could really get into the business. A lot of people say she could be the next Mickey James. I don't
You know,
see it.
you know who they should sign?
Who?
Beth Phoenix.
Who's that?
Someone who just got. Wait, did she get fired this week?
She got fired last week.
Last week, yeah. Well, she's at home right now with family. I think she already
Oh.
released a statement why she left.
Well, they
and
need-
Ric Flair's
they need-
daughter is in
I don't care about Ric Flair's daughter.
NXT as well.
What about Hulk Hogan's daughter? She doing any good?
Oh, you're so funny.
No, I laughed.
No one laughed.
Herc Hogan.
They just announced a whole bunch of new people who joined the NXT roster. Some of them whose faces look like they just got into a train wreck. There's like some guy named Louis Fontani. Here, I'll even link the FCW website for you guys to look.
Fontaine.
Fontaine, I think it's
Louis
Fontaine.
Fontani.
Here, look at that website.
Fontaine.
Go down, look
Is
at it.
Fontaine.
Fontaine.
Is he-
It's like
Is he from the great state of Montana?
actually he is from
Fontaine.
France.
Oh,
Oh, he's probably the other French dude that they hired. Because they hired two guys. They hired this dude and they hired Tom LaRufa, who's really he's a really talented dude from France.
why does this Brandon Traven guy look like Bray Wyatt?
Brandon, he reminds me a lot of Robert Roode.
He looks nothing like
I don't
Robert
know why.
Roode.
And then they have Denton Blackwell, who looks like Matt Morgan.
And there's Danny Burch, who looks like a cross between Finley and William Regal.
Here, let me look down
He
here.
looks badass. I'm not gonna lie. He's 6 foot, but he's like jacked. This dude could probably
And-
kick anybody's ass in the ring. I
And
think he
there's
could do
Judas
really well
there's
with it.
Judas Devlin, who looks like Chris Hero without the epic goatee.
Who? Judas Devlin?
Yeah, he looks like Chris Hero.
Dude, Chris Hero's nose is little and small.
Oh,
It is. I mean, look at his nose. It's kind of like a puny rat. I mean,
Who
I have
is this
nothing against Chris Hero. I think he could be an excellent WWE superstar. Even a
who's this
future WWE
Mojo
champion.
Rawley guy? He looks like a douche.
Who?
Mojo Rawley
He was a former football player, I believe.
looks like a douchebag.
He has the smuggest face ever.
That's why I say he looks like a douchebag.
Let me look him up because I remember he was.
Who's it? Who's TAC? TAC or whatever.
Tack,
Yeah.
tack.
He was another football
Talk.
player.
Ah.
They hired a lot of football players. Tack was a former football player. Mojo. I think it's either Chad Baxter or Chase Donovan is another football player that they hired.
Let's all support Momo Montenegro. Mimo Montenegro.
Memo.
Montenegro.
Yeah, whatever.
What else should we talk about? Oh yeah, let's talk about what Mike brought up on the chat. How about you introduce that, Mike?
Oh, the epic title chases that went and crappy title runs.
Introduce it.
Basically, like what Bobby Roode did, chase the title for a year and then didn't do anything. James Storm chases the title for a year, holds it for 2 weeks.
Pretty much what Mike's trying to say is, what are some epic runs for the WWE title or any title, world title, that were great, and then once he won it, everybody was happy, but then when he actually started his reign, it was terrible.
Like the Big Show, chases the belt for 4 months, holds it for 45 seconds.
Or Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's run was pretty terrible.
Who else?
His first run, he did nothing. He won all his matches dirty, and then he lost it to Sheamus in 18 seconds. That really diminished his look as a world champion, I believe.
Triple H's Royal Rumble win, and then holds the belt for a month.
Which one was
2002.
Oh yeah.
Chris Jericho winning the Undisputed title, holding it for 2 months, after chasing it for like 6 months. Let's see what else.
Am I the only one who thinks that Undisputed title reign would be fun to watch?
They would have to merge the belts.
Yeah, I think at the end they would have to merge it, and WWE's
And then after that, they redesign the WWE Championship.
Yeah, but WWE's on the position where that's a good idea. I think there's something up with Triple H, and it has something to do with the NXT roster. If you've noticed, in probably the past couple months or so, none of the wrestlers from NXT, they've been hiring a bunch of wrestlers or football players, and none of them have debuted. Dean Ambrose has been on the road like 24/7 with WWE, yet he hasn't made his on-screen. It could just be me and probably just thinking of it too hard, but I think Triple H is setting up for his reign, his run as chairman or so, in charge of creative and everything. So when McMahon hands it off to Triple H, he's gonna switch everybody out. Like, everybody's gonna be switched out with a new roster, and Triple H is gonna just have his own run and create his own superstars.
Dean Ambrose isn't gonna be on TV. Let's be honest.
You think so? You think that? He had
Yeah.
so many dark matches recently, and then God, that would be disappointing if that just didn't happen in general.
Remember Caval?
Well,
okay.
Yeah. Let's. There's a difference between Caval and Dean Ambrose. Caval really didn't have any charisma. Dean Ambrose has so much charisma, and I think has a character in line, and I think he's just. I think he has the attitude of Punk, to where he's not gonna take shit, and he's gonna if he has nothing to do, he's gonna go to creative and ask for something to do. He's not gonna be someone who sits around on the sidelines and waits for that opportunity to come.
But Caval did the same exact thing, and they told him they had nothing for him.
Yeah, they had nothing for him, and Caval just sat around. I wouldn't be surprised if Caval didn't take any action towards going forward in his career in the WWE. I think he was signed and he was okay with it, and WWE, I think, was really hyped for Caval because at that time there was already rumors of the cruiserweight division to be brought up, and we still haven't seen trace of that yet, but that there was going to be a new cruiserweight show, and a new cruiserweight division was going to be brought up, and they were thinking of Caval being one of the top stars in that, and I think plans fell short. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they had Caval was just for that's when WWE started thinking, hey, we're gonna have a network, and we're gonna need shows. Let's have a cruiserweight show. So they wanted to start hiring new cruiserweights for the show, and Caval was just one of those ones that plans fell short, or plans weren't going as planned, and they were going slow, and Caval was just left behind. I think there was
retarded.
Even I couldn't think of anything for Caval. And Caval's known to have a bad attitude, and WWE is one of those companies that you really can't have that ego to where you're better than anybody else. except if you
They could have
have
given me
except if you're
If they-
like behind, if McMahon's behind you 100%. Because there's two people who I hear stories about constantly that that they think they're better than anybody else. There's the Miz, and there's Del Rio, and they legit have like a backstage heat towards everybody else because they believe that they could walk around and they're better than everybody. But I think
Greg?
I think McMahon is just
Greg.
what
and
Gregory.
there he is.
what
Gregory.
I'm here.
He has no idea what happened, does he?
What happened?
We lost you for about like 5 seconds.
Really?
You cut out.
Oh, don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
Keep going.
Caval just had a bad attitude to where he just didn't want to. Not that he didn't want to be a superstar, more that he had a bad attitude and couldn't work with others. I think. Wasn't there like a huge thing where when he was in a match with someone, he couldn't work well with them in the WWE?
Not that I heard of.
Like he accidentally
I don't
punched
know.
someone like for real or kicked them in the face and they got pissed off. I heard something about that.
Not that I heard of.
Okay.
Not that I remember.
What else is there to talk about?
TNA accusing WWE of ripping off their AJ thing.
I don't know how that's connected with. Okay, because their whole argument is that the AJ John Cena storyline is exactly like the Claire Lynch storyline. Right.
Yeah.
And the only similarities I see are the black male. That's all I
But
see.
those camera angles, you don't agree?
Yeah, the secret camera angles and that's TNA's, or what was it? That's Eric Bischoff.
Cena was drugged.
It's someone's like special, camera technique that they gave to TNA.
But if people remember, GTV, secret camera angles.
Yeah, GTV used to be toy like that. So, are they
If
suing
anything-
them or they just
They can't sue him for that.
yeah? But are they what? They're just very vocal about it right now,
They're just complaining.
complaining.
No, you can't use that. No, it's our idea. It's our crappy idea. Why are you gonna use it?
If it ends with a pregnancy, then
It's gonna end with. It's
it
probably
better
gonna end
not
with a
fucking
pregnancy.
end with. I do not want my AJ getting pregnant, and she's not gonna get pregnant.
It's gonna end with a pregnancy, and John Cena's gonna be the father.
I'll be honest. I do not want to see AJ with a pregnant.
That's what's gonna happen. They
No,
would.
could you imagine AJ like legit having a baby, and then her body like when the baby's like 9 months in the womb, she would look weird. This like 5'3" girl, skinny as fuck, with a huge like balloon coming out of her.
She would look fat.
Like all Mexicans.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, Mexicans are kind of fat, bro. You haven't been to California, have you? There's a lot of fat
Who-
Mexicans
No, I
here.
haven't.
Who would want to go to California?
Bitch.
You mad?
Yeah.
Thank God I have never been to California.
California's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's not. It sucks.
No, it's pretty amazing.
It sucks.
What about Ring of Honor? You said something about Ring of Honor getting set up for their WrestleMania. What's it called?
Oh, the final battle.
Final Battle.
Yep. Let me get the card because they had their final TV taping.
Wait. What do you mean
uh,
final TV taping?
They taped their final TV show of the year last night.
I don't understand.
They tape episodes ahead of time, and then they air them every Saturday. Like they had to do with NXT.
Okay. So
They
Ring of Honor is like not in jeopardy or anything, is it?
No,
Oh, okay.
because Final Battle is their final show of the year.
Okay, I thought it was more like, oh yeah, Ring of Honor is going bankrupt or something. I'm like, what?
No,
They're
No,
having
they-
so,
And then all the indie marks killed themselves.
they're having some money problems, weren't they?
no.
Like they weren't paying performers like TNA was.
Not that I read.
I remember seeing something about that.
No, but what they did, they taped like 4 episodes of TV in one night, and then they air them. Kind of like how WWE does with NXT.
Uh,
So Final Battle is like their WrestleMania
So
because
what's
it's the
the
final
card?
show of the year.
what's the card? Because I may be actually interested in this.
Kevin Steen, El Generico for the belt. That's a ladder match, so it should be good.
I thought Kevin Steen was
What?
facing Steve Carino for the longest time.
No, they're in a stable.
Oh, they're in a stable now. I thought he was, or fuck, who's his name?
Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah.
He's in the stable too.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they're,
need.
they're Kevin Steen's the world champ. Jacobs and Carino's the tag champs,
Okay.
and they're all in a stable. But it's Steen Generico for the world belt. Carino and Jacobs against the Briscoes and two black guys for the tag belts. Elgin Strong, some dude I can't pronounce his name against Prince Nana and Jay Lethal and Rhino. And Jerry Lynn's gonna be there.
Cabana doesn't work for Ring of Honor anymore, does he?
He
He does his own thing with PWG and $5 Wrestling, right?
he sometimes works for Ring of Honor, but the last he was doing NWA stuff.
Oh, that's news. They just crowned a new NWA champion.
No, they didn't. The NWA title was vacant.
Oh, what happened?
Oh,
Because I thought they just gave it to what's his name, the Tokyo Monster.
Adam Pearce and Cabana had a thing, and Cabana won the match, and the NWA didn't sanction it. So they said nope, no title change.
Wait, but what happened to that Tokyo Monster guy?
What Tokyo Monster?
Son of a bitch! Now I have to bring it up. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Cabana and Pierce had a thing for the belt. Cabana won it, but the NWA said no.
No.
It can't happen.
It's not that.
That's what the thing with Cabana was.
No, Mike, you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Because I just read this and I fucking. God damn it, Mike.
So they just put the NWA title on somebody.
NWA. He won it in a battle royal. Hold on. Champion. NWA Wrestling News. New world champion crowned. PW Insider reported on November 3rd that the NWA Professional Wrestling Organization held an 8-man elimination match on November 3rd to determine a new NWA champion, and a surprise 9th competitor came in and won the belt. Chance Prophet, Justin the Gift Kincaid, whatever his name is, Lance Erickson, Anthony Nessie, Greek God, Papadon, Fat Daddy, Biggie Biggs, Lance Anoa'i, and Damian Wayne competed in an elimination match for the vacant NWA World Heavyweight Championship. At the end of the match, what's his name? Tokyo Monster Kagagis won the match. I'm not sure if that's how to pronounce his name like that. It's Kahagas. Ah, damn it. Call broke. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about the small interruption. But yeah, Tokyo Monster Kagas won the championship.
Kahagas?
It's this. Kahagas.
I'm looking at it. It's Kahagas.
Yeah. So that's the new NWA champion.
Okay, because the title was vacated because Cabana won it and the NWA said no.
Why did they say no?
They said it wasn't a sanctioned match. Right. I'll be back. Keep it going.
So, NWA new champion, TNA being a piece of shit. What else is there to talk about? Wrestling has just been terrible. Fucking bullshit recently because there's just nothing going on. You have Punk versus Ryback, which I don't see anything. I don't see any build up to it. Having Ryback look strong against Punk isn't hard, since Punk is so small. I don't see anything working out in WWE or TNA.
It's not going to end well.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to end well. That's one thing that I fear the most with the Punk Ryback storyline. It's not going to end well. I think it's going to piss off people. Whether it's Ryback winning the WWE Championship in a bullshit way where Cena comes in and helps him, or if it's Punk somehow continues to take a win over Ryback and just goes into Royal Rumble against what's his name, The Rock.
What's that guy's name?
Yeah, fuck him. He shouldn't be getting a world. Goddamn. I don't know. I think until WrestleMania, things aren't gonna look good. But the fate of the WWE, I think, is gonna come this Tuesday when the elections happens, and it all depends if Linda wins the Senate seat for Connecticut.
Is she the favorite or?
I don't know. Last time I heard that she was the favorite, I wasn't. But
Who's she running against?
Some fucking Democrat. I'm gonna look it up right now. Linda McMahon favorite, because I'm not quite sure how it's working with her right now, because she's a Republican candidate for Connecticut's close Senate rate, apparently. Leaving campaign literature for Democratic doors open.
All right.
Welcome back. We're talking about politics.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
are we?
talking about politics now with Linda McMahon and if she's gonna win on Tuesday or not. I know there's a lot of people against Linda, but I think she's been winning.
She's gonna lose.
Connecticut's always been a very democratic state, from what I remember.
She's still going to lose. I'm going to laugh.
God damn.
But she's gonna lose.
How's she gonna lose, Mike?
And then we'll never have.
I read she's down in the polls.
Is she?
Yeah, her numbers are down.
Oh, she's going against Chris Murphy. That's right. Is it? God, I have no idea what's going on in that. I wanted to do some research before we talked about this, just in case. But I think everything in what WWE does is relying on if Linda wins or not. Because if Linda wins, I'm trying to think if Linda will ever run again. Because the next time that she would have to run would be, it's 6 years for every Senate race. So, what, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It'll be 2018. Is the next Senate election.
Oh my god.
I love politics, don't you?
I do.
And you can either have 6 years of Linda in the Senate for Connecticut, which would mean 6 years of WWE still sticking around with the PG product, or Linda losing and seeing where that goes. Because if she quits politics, if she loses on Tuesday, I think Linda McMahon would throw in the towel. I think her idea of, or she can run for fucking mayor or governor of Connecticut.
She can run for president.
Oh, God.
She's gonna run for president.
That'll just be terrible.
Vince McMahon will be her vice president.
Yeah. So, Mike, you brought up a topic a couple hours ago that interested me because I wanted to know why you wanted to talk about it. You know what you said?
Nope.
How better the product would be if actual wrestling fans wrote the shows.
Yeah.
Is this something you've been talking about on your wrestling forums?
Not really. I just figured I would bring it up.
Why? Are you interested in it?
Yeah, I am actually.
Okay. Well, there's a reason why I became a screenwriter. And it's something it's something I really don't talk about because it's something I want to do on my own rather than, have one of my professors help me. I've always wanted to write for WWE. I've always been kind of interested in more of the background work, and which is why I'm doing this podcast. So I get more of like a journalism sort of idea going on. Like, this is definitely going on my resume. even though it's shit.
You're actually gonna put this on there, be like, "Hey guys, I worked for this podcast on YouTube."
Well, no, I mean, because this
We're
is
such a hit.
because doing a podcast looks because it's kind of like a journalism sort of thing, and it kind of looks good. I mean, not too good because
I only brought it up. I
what?
It looks good. Oh wait, maybe.
Yeah, I think Mike. Oh, there he is.
It looks good. Nah, it doesn't.
No, but
I'm still here.
If wrestling fans would make the show better, definitely not.
Why not?
Because wrestling fans are biased as fuck, and when it comes to something like WWE, and if you have like, let's say you take a room full of wrestling fans and you take a room full of screenwriters, you're gonna have two completely different shows, because you only have one show, because the show that the wrestling fans would be making, they wouldn't have finished the show by the deadline, because they would be arguing over how, who should be champion, who should win what match, who should go over, who shouldn't go over, because wrestling fans are just that biased, and nothing would get done. That's why if ever a wrestling fan would take control over the creative business, it wouldn't work. Things wouldn't get done. Business would go down because one person doesn't like the other, and so he's gonna put this person over that one. It wouldn't work business wise, and it wouldn't work getting the show done.
Play it off, Greg. Play it off.
What happened?
Just keep going.
What happened?
We'll tell you after we're done the recording.
What happened?
we lost you for a second again.
Oh my god! It can't be my internet. It has to be yours, Mike.
You're the one who cut out.
No, you're the one cut out. We can talk to each other, but you weren't there.
You were talking and it just went complete silence.
And I didn't hear any of you. Okay, that's weird. But yeah, wrestling fans would completely destroy the business, I think.
I don't think they would.
Why?
Well, it's like having somebody who knows what they're doing in sports be a general manager, like a baseball pitcher, an outfielder knows the ins and outs.
No.
It's better than having soap opera writers write wrestling.
But here's again with my point. Nothing would get done if wrestling fans.
Nothing gets done now.
Generic wrestling fan. Like, okay, would you rather have a team full of the Twitter wrestling community writing your show, or would you rather have the soap opera guys writing the show?
I didn't say Twitter.
No, but that's a generic wrestling fan. The
I'm
Twitter wrestling community. I'm just using it as a hypothesis, or just like wrestling forum people.
I'm talking about people who watched it from the very beginning, like as soon as they popped out of their womb and started watching wrestling up until now.
Like me.
No.
What?
Because you're biased.
I am not biased.
You are.
Okay. Let's test my bias. Go.
You want AJ to be the main diva on Raw.
No.
Yeah.
I would have Beth Phoenix and Natalia as the main event.
Beth doesn't
spot.
work for WWE anymore.
Yeah, Beth doesn't work there anymore.
There's a problem with that. So what I would do is I would try to negotiate with Beth Phoenix. I would try to negotiate with Sofia Cortez, who recently had a tryout with TNA. I would try to get those two together. What? What?
Thing?
Man.
What?
You cut out
Again? This is stupid as hell. Okay, hold on. Let me close my web browser.
Yeah, close your browser.
That'll probably work. Anyways, I would try to negotiate with Beth Phoenix to get back into the business, only for a year or two. I would try to rehire Sofia Cortez. You guys with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would try to rehire Sofia Cortez, who currently had a tryout for TNA. I would have Natalia as one of the dominant divas. She'll be the. What?
Would you go out and re-sign Alicia Fox's sister?
No.
Why not? She's so talented.
Exactly. No. I would have AJ as one of the top divas. Don't get me wrong. She's talented. She is. You can't deny that fact that she isn't talented. You can't deny the fact that she's great on the mic. But I wouldn't have her have like a 2-year run with the title. I would have her in a feud with Natalia, and I would have her in
Wait,
a
who are we
feud
talking
with
about?
AJ,
Oh, okay.
and I would have her with a feud against Sofia Cortez. But I wouldn't put her against Beth Phoenix, because I think Beth Phoenix, if I would have Beth Phoenix versus AJ would have to be the baby face. The only time where I would have AJ as a heel would be if I would put her in a feud against Caitlyn or Layla. And I think AJ as a heel is amazing. But I would have a WrestleMania match between Natalia and Beth Phoenix, and Natalia and AJ in a submission match. Those
Why
would be the
not
two
Karma?
matches I would book for 2 WrestleManias.
Why not Karma?
Who's Karma?
I would try to hire Karma. I would try to, but I wouldn't know if I would have the success rate as a lot of people think. How easy it would to get Karma into the company. If I got the chance to hire Karma, I wouldn't change her gimmick, as WWE tried to do. I would keep her, with that awesome Kong gimmick, the destructive monster that she is. But yeah,
Make sure she doesn't get pregnant while she's signed.
I'll make sure
Yeah.
that.
And then do only the Royal Rumble.
Come on, but test my
Squash the Bellas and do only the Royal Rumble.
test my bias.
Yeah.
What else?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Do you want Randy Orton to be the top heel?
I would have Orton run with the top heel gimmick one last time, but I think he needs to work on building mid-carders.
Let's see what else. I'm trying to think.
I have a plan. I plan all my free time of what I would do. I have all this constructive, I wouldn't have Cena. What I would do with Cena is I think Cena's gone past working with mid-carders. I would give him more of a not an Undertaker schedule, a little bit more of an Undertaker schedule where he works probably 30, 40 days out of the year. I would give him more of a Legends contract now but I would continue to work with him to where he's not in the main event scene. I think he's done with that, but he could definitely work with, like, what he's doing right now. He's possibly going to be getting in a feud with Dolph Ziggler, right? That's where this is all leading to. It's probably going to be a match. It's going to be a tag match between Guerrero and Ziggler versus AJ and Cena, which is probably going to be at TLC.
Nope, it'll be the Survivor Series.
No, I think it's going to be a singles. I think it's going to be a singles match between Ziggler and Cena, and then it's going to lead to that tag match at TLC. That's how I see it.
A tables match?
No, a tag team match.
It's going to be a tag team tables match.
No table.
Why not?
AJ wouldn't have slammed through a table. She's like a lightweight, like.
That's why you put her with a. That's why you have Ziggler do it. That's why you have Ziggler put her to the table.
Okay, but come on, what else?
I don't know.
Exactly, because I'm not biased. I'm not biased like you, Mike.
How am I biased?
You are so biased.
Go ahead.
Holy shit, you Ryback.
Okay.
Biased as hell on that. I think Ryback has potential to be a good star, but not right now. I think what I would do with Ryback, I would build him up through the mid-card division, win a couple titles in the mid-card division, singles titles, not the tag team titles, and continue to move on with that. Sooner or later, if he doesn't hurt himself, if he doesn't prove himself to be an injury-prone person, because I know he's hurt his ankle before, and that's why he was gone from Nexus for so long.
Thank God.
If he proves himself that he's not going to get injured all the time, I think I would use Ryback in the main event scene.
Nope.
That's what I would do. Because I think he could draw a lot of people back into the company. He's a new face. I think he could bring that. But I would only have him run with the World Heavyweight Championship. I wouldn't have him win the WWE Championship. I would have him win the World Heavyweight Championship twice to see how people would react to him. If it's positive and if he improves in the ring, I would consider putting the WWE Championship on him. If he doesn't improve in the ring, I would I would keep him in the main event, but I would make him one of the biggest stars on SmackDown.
I'd have him be fired.
Exactly, because you're biased.
That's not biased.
That's definitely biased.
He just sucks.
He sucks. That's not being biased.
I'm looking at it more into business wise, and that's what you have to do. That's how
I
you're supposed
can-
to. That's how you're supposed to.
Sometimes you have to have common sense with business.
I can fire him.
That would be a bad decision for business, though.
No, it wouldn't.
Ryback has the ability, just like Brodus Clay has the ability to sell a lot of merchandise.
Wait, did you just say Brodus Clay?
I believe Brodus Clay has the ability to sell merchandise.
Oh my
But
god.
at a
Are we really doing this?
at a Santino level, to where I wouldn't do much with him, or like Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder's barely shown on TV yet. A couple appearances here and there, and he could sell merchandise like crazy.
Oh my god.
Side fact, that's what I would do. I wouldn't fucking give him the U.S. title. By God, I wouldn't dare do that. Or even, Intercontinental title. I wouldn't give him a title, but I would definitely utilize him as more of a jobber merchandise whore.
I would use him as a piece of crap.
Of course you would.
What?
Huh? Nothing.
Brodus Clay sucks.
Yeah, of course he sucks, but again, I have to use what WWE gives me, and if WWE's going to give me a big guy, then I'm going to use him the way he's supposed to be utilized.
If I'm gonna use a big guy, I'm gonna use Tensai.
I wouldn't use Tensai.
I would.
I wouldn't use Tensai for sole reason. As much as I think about it, I can't come up with something for him to do. I can't think of anything to do with Tensai. Absolutely nothing.
I let him keep the Japanese gimmick, and actually have him be
wouldn't do it.
Japanese.
Who else? He squashed Yoshitatsu for like 2 weeks, and that was it. Who else does he have to face? Sakamoto, but that would go nowhere. Unless here's the only thing that I would think of. You get Yoshitatsu, you get Sakamoto, and you bring in one more Japanese wrestler, and you have a stable, and that stable would go after Tensai for about 2 months. Then Tensai would just destroy them all. That's all I could do. That's all I could think of with Tensai, because his gimmick is destroying the Japanese people. He isn't Japanese whatsoever. His gimmick is that he destroys Japanese people in Japan when he wrestled. It's just either he continues to destroy Japanese wrestlers, or he just another generic monster heel, which would go nowhere. Just like Brodus Clay's old monster gimmick. All he did was destroy people, and then they did nothing with him.
But you get to rip it off.
Tensai could never get over unless you either have another gimmick change, I think would destroy his career even more, or you start bringing in a whole bunch of Japanese people.
Well, they just registered the trademark for Tensai, so he's not going anywhere for a while.
Definitely. But again, I can't think of anything else for him to do. He can't get over with the fans. And that's already been proven for how long. Ryback was able to get over with the fans. He's over big time with the fans right now. And he's been doing the same thing as Tensai been doing, just destroying mid-carders. Only thing is, Ryback had a catchphrase that caught on with the audience. Tensai really just goes out there, does shit, and leaves. I mean,
Rise shit slave.
That's because Ryback was forced down our throat.
Tensai was doing the same thing. Creative was behind Tensai. They wanted him to be in the main event.
I agree.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Yeah. You guys can't hear me right now, can you?
What?
You guys can't hear me right now, can you?
You were cutting out.
You're cutting in and out.
Okay.
You know what we're naming this?
What?
The Cutout Cast.
Okay.
That's what you should name it.
I don't know why it's cutting out on me. I can honestly tell you that.
I don't know why it's cutting out on you either.
Yeah.
Or why only me and Mike can consistently stay in the call.
Okay. Well, I think we're done. Anyways. It was a short podcast. I'm sorry. I guess we should just call it off right here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll try to bring you a more I don't know. What we're trying to do with the podcast right now is
Isn't there a pay-per-view next week?
is there a pay-per-view next week?
What's?
Is it TNA's pay-per-view?
I think it's Turning Point next week.
I don't want to do Turning Point.
Guess what? We're doing it.
Can you do it?
We gotta do it.
No, I'm not doing it.
I may be busy next week.
Oh,
Sure you will.
No, I think I'm busy next week. I need to check though.
What are you be playing Halo 4?
What? God,
Right.
no. Fuck that. I'm gonna be sick of Halo 4 when I work tomorrow.
Turning Point is on November 11th.
Yep, that's next week. When's Thanksgiving?
Like the 24th.
Okay, well,
And
we're
it-
done. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the ARCof Wrestling Podcast, episode 48. You can catch us on Twitter, twitter.com/ARCof Wrestling, YouTube, where you're watching this right now. We also have a Facebook. We also have, find us on Blip. Please watch our podcast on Blip. I don't know how much I could enthuse, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. We're also still recruiting for more people to be a part of the podcast. So if you would like to join the podcast, please message us on Twitter. Again, if you want to be a part of the podcast every Sunday or Saturday, depending on when we want to do the show, just message me on Twitter and we will interview you. Okay, that's it for the podcast. Everybody say bye.
Meh.
Meh.